election of our 44th president, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama. I think that President Obama illustrates the uniqueness of American history, which has existed long enough to become the most progressive and allowed us to become the most culturally diverse nation in the world, although it's young enough that the wounds of slavery, segregation, and discrimination remain unhealed and have only been covered by bandages of a very incremental success. The perceived solution. The aforementioned disparities have helped birth a renewed interest in organizations advocating for the eradication of big government. We hear that term all the time, not even sure in some instances the people that use it truly know what it means. And it's also promoted a need for an increase in individual responsibility. This is a picture of some of the estimates between 250.5 million people that marched on Washington last year. One such organization is the Tea Party Patriots, defined by a mission which states, the impetus for the Tea Party movement is excessive government spending and taxation. Our mission is to attract, educate, organize, and mobilize our fellow citizens to secure public policy which is consistent with our three core values of fiscal responsibility, limited government, and free markets. Morality of the Tea Party mission. At first glance, it appears that the mission of the Tea Parties is fair, it's warranted, and in fact, it's all-inclusive. However, one can only help but notice that pictures of participants and videos of protests overwhelmingly reflect the voice and needs of a more singular demographic, white Americans. A February 2010 poll conducted by CNN suggests that a Tea Party member is likely to be a wealthy, white, college-educated male residing in a rural area of the country which operates under a Republican conservative stronghold, which is not the picture of our country at large. A mission to protect many, but not all. Some leaders of the Tea Party Patriots have revealed that the umbrella of their mission is not intended to protect all segments of society. One such individual is Tom Tancredo. This paper presentation will seek to examine the themes and agendas set forth by Tom Tancredo, which are infused with racist rhetoric and support of discriminatory practices. Who is Tom Tancredo? He was born in 1945 to the parents of two Italian immigrants. He grew up in Colorado following the Great Depression. His political interest was sparked while a student at the University of North Colorado. He was active in the College Republicans, Young Americans for Freedom. After graduating, he worked as a high school teacher until he was elected to the Colorado House of Representatives in 1977. He served in the U.S. Congress for 10 years, earned a reputation as a staunch opponent of immigration, and formed the House Immigration Reform Caucus. He also ran a very unsuccessful bid for president in 2008. He finally relinquished his presidential ambitions after being unable to secure support outside of the single digits. Currently, Tancredo is a frequent guest of conservative cable and radio shows and is one of the most vocal members of the Tea Party. He has positioned himself on the outermost edge of the Republican right. He advocates for complete social and fiscal conservatism. And one of his more proud claims to fame is that he boasts of reducing his office staff from 225 people to 60 employees during his tenure when he was in office. And also he was named one of America's worst congressmen, one of America's worst 10 congressmen by the Rolling Stone. I just thought that was a very interesting accolade. Theoretical framework. Upon reviewing Tom Tancredo's speech delivered during the opening night of the first National Tea Party Convention held on February 4th back in 2010, the racial undertones, discriminatory practices, and exclusionary efforts advocated by this organization are highlighted. Unfortunately, the Tea Party undertakings are being shielded, I believe, by the privilege of white existence. One of the potential challenges associated with the discussion of white privilege is the fear of having yourself labeled as a racist. And it also lies in securing an appropriate definition for white privilege, which is, is an area of research that has been explored by a number of people and is defined in a variety of manners. So depending upon the scholar and the context of the discussion, the described definition of white privilege will vary. However, in order to better understand the issues associated with Tom Tancredo and the Tea Party, my analysis sort of studied a cross-section of definitions and rhetorical examples. Fegan describes white privilege as a system advancing the welfare of whites and suppressing opportunities for people of color and as a result of social policies, procedures, and institutions. Tancredo suggested because we do not have a civics literacy test before people can vote in this country, people who could not even spell the word vote or say it in English put a committed socialist ideologue in the White House. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. Again, I think that this really illustrates you know, Tancredo's suggestion that the election of Barack Obama was in part due to the absence of literacy tests, which was a vicious tool of the Jim Crow era. And he's also speaking, you know, from the perception of the individual who's not likely felt the wrath of policies designed to exclude.